Hi, I'm Rebecca and welcome to the Creabea Knitting podcast. Hello and welcome. My name is Rebecca. I'm a knitter based in Edinburgh in Scotland, and this is a vlog or a podcast all about knitting, what I'm currently knitting on, what I've been knitting on, and what I'd like to be casting on in the not too distant future. And I usually wrap up with some yarny goodness, and I have a huge pile of stuff next to me today. It has been a while since I last filmed. Life is just a bit busy, and I was determined, I just kept putting it off, but I was determined I was filming today. So here I am, because if I leave it any longer, it's going to be like a 3-hour video to update you on everything. So I am here. There's something on my glasses lens. I have 3 finished objects. Goodness knows how many works in progress. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 works in progress. 3 of which are, in fact, like all of them are completely brand new since the last time I spoke to you. I think. Maybe there's one that's not. And I've had some exciting yarn delivery. And yeah, oh, I've also got the prize winners for the Woolyknit Conealong, summer Conealong, so I'll try to remember to put those winners on the screen. And yeah, I think that's everything that's coming. Actually, I'm going to start with the winners because if not, I'll completely forget about them. The Woolyknit Conealong was happening over the summer, and you could use the hashtag summer Conealong on Instagram to enter, and 3 prizes were drawn, and I'll put the names here. Congratulations. There's a gift card for Woolyknit. I think they're going to contact the people directly, but if you have not heard from them or you need any help, feel free to drop me an email and I can help along with that. The other thing is that since the last episode, I hit a big round number of subscribers, which is 20,000, which is a huge number. That's crazy. Every time I hit like a number, a significant number, I think of like that many people in a room and me on a stage trying to talk about knitting, and that kind of blows my mind a little bit. So yeah, thank you all for being here. I have plans for a giveaway, but I'm not 100% sure on them, so I'm gonna wait until the next episode and talk about it then. So let's jump into the knitting straight off the bat. I am wearing my first of 3 finished objects. This is my Leith cardigan. I'll put some pictures because we got some really lovely pictures. My partner is taking up photography and seems to be a ridiculous natural at it. And the lovely photographer who takes most of my pattern pictures is currently on maternity leave, having welcomed a little baby boy a few weeks ago. I don't even think it's as long as a month ago yet. And so Sabbath stepped up and taken some pictures for me. And I told him he has until the pattern comes out in September to get good enough to take the final pattern pictures. But I'll put them here. It is a drop shoulder, bottom up cardigan with these stripes, and it's in tarja. So I'll put a picture of the back of the cardigan and you'll see that the stripes don't like meet up, and that's because like down the back of the cardigan there's a line of intarsia, which is where you hold a different colour on either side. And then I use a different colour again for each of the sleeves. I use Cascade 220 in a variety of colours, and this sage green here is Filcolana Peruvian Highland wool, which has exactly the same gauge. And then it's got a double knit button band, which I like sewed on at the end, and these really nice buttons that I got from Wool Warehouse, which I've probably not sewn on very well because they are literally coming off. Oops. Yeah, so this is like the most joyful thing I've ever knit. I took a bit of time away from, so my last pattern was a Tolsta t-shirt and it came out in early May, and then, but that was pretty much good to go. Like the test call was very relaxed for that one because it's a very simple top down raglan. There was pretty much no feedback, like 1 or 2 bits of feedback, and so it was a very like relaxed tester call, and then I had no more tester calls running, and so for like most of May and all of June and then the first half of July, I had a very, like, I didn't have any patterns being ready to produce. I didn't have any like, I had a couple of deadlines but nothing really like urgent, and so I was just knitting, and this was like the most joyful thing that I could cast on, and I just wanted to wear it. Like I just needed the end product, to the extent that I found it really hard to share pictures because I knew how it would look at the end, and it didn't come together until the very end. Like at the very end it all wrapped up and I was like, this is exactly what I had in mind. So I'm just so delighted with it. What was I going to say? Oh, I was telling my knit night, I wore this to knit night 2 weeks ago, and I was telling them that like when I wear this I just feel like I'm having the most like main character moment, and I am convinced everyone is in love with me. Which sounds like very self-centered, and it probably is, but I just walked down the street in this cardigan and like my jeans, and it's my wide leg jeans, so I felt really cool, and I was like, he's in love with me, she's in love with me, he thinks I'm cool, she works with my friend, everyone loves me, which is ridiculous but also a great way for a piece of clothing to make you feel. And that's how I feel with this one. So it is my Leith cardigan. The test has started. Now apologies, because every other test call I've released a test call on YouTube and on Instagram at the same time, and I just did it on Instagram this time. So I'm sorry if you were waiting for the test call and then I didn't put it on here. It's just like, I feel like I'm in a bit of a, like getting back into the swing of things is more challenging than I thought it would be. Just like getting my head back on, and I think obviously I started a new job like a month ago, so my head is just like a little bit fried, and I was like, I could force myself to film a podcast right now, or I could just go ahead with the test call, get things going and film when I feel like filming. And so that's what I opted to do. So it is underway. People are just starting, I think. Like it only started maybe Monday, so people are just ordering their yarn now. Maybe not even Monday, maybe it was later than that. Yeah, no, I think I told everyone last Friday, so like a week ago. So yeah, someone is doing, Lucy from This Nanny Knits is doing one in like 4 different shades of pink. It's amazing. Some people are doing them with like a charcoal background, some people are just doing 2 colours. I think there's even a tester that's just doing plain and without the intarsia, which I'm super happy with, because that just shows that it's a cardigan that fits the way you want it to fit, right? So yeah, I've got another one. The pattern's gonna come out early September, so my current release timeline is basically the first Friday of the month for September, October, November, December. And that's kind of what I'm planning to right now, or like I set the date and then I backwards plan to make sure there's enough time for test knitting. And so I have a sample being knit right now by a sample knitter. The problem is that there's so many options with this cardigan. I want to showcase all the options. So this is one of them. I'm actually going to jump into my whips so that I can show you this one instead of having to like come back to the Leith all over again. My second one is currently theoretically off the needles, only because I've run out of cables. Because I have so many projects right now. I should just order some more cables. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to order some more cables. I'm using these 2 colours of Cascade 220. This is, I think, beige, and this is a really interesting colour. It's called Sparrow. And on the Wool Warehouse website, which is where I get my Cascade, it looks really, really like a very bright, very vibrant green. But to me, it looks like the colour of like grass in summer, where it's kind of a bit scorched. And I love it. I think it's a really, really interesting kind of neutral. And so I am doing with this one a 2 colour version. Let me hold it up. Da, 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 da. Oh, it's so tangled. I've also not woven an end, so it's looking a bit scruffy. Okay, so this is my 2 colour version. And 1/2 is chunky stripes and 1/2 is thin stripes. And that is the intarsia line, which, like I said, I've not woven, it's actually not that bad. I've not woven on all the ends, and so you can see that where I've woven the ends, it's nice and neat, and then at the top here, I've not woven them, and it can be a bit scruffy. But yeah, that is the line. So I think it looks really cool, and I like how much of a contrast it is to this one, and I think this would be like such an easy neutral to wear in autumn. So yeah, and then my 3rd version, which is being sample knit, I can put a picture in of the, God, I'm gonna hate myself after for saying I'm putting this many pictures in. I have 2 pictures actually. I have one which is the inspiration, which is I've been looking a lot at like the colour predictions for autumn 2023. When I was doing samples, I'm not particularly great with colour. Like colour doesn't, I find it hard to make decisions on colour, and it's not something that, like, if I love the colours I feel great about it, but if I don't then I find it quite stressful, which is ridiculous but true. And so I was looking at colour trends, like what are the it colours of autumn 2023, and I came across this picture of this dress from a runway, which I can't remember what it is, and this red is called Astro Dust, and this purple is called Digital Lavender, and I think it looks so cool together. So the sample that's been made is going to be in these two colours. It's going to be interesting. I'm kind of glad it's being sample knit, similar to when I got my orange red Lanark sweater sample knit, because I don't think I could bear to knit the colours. Like, I'd be second guessing myself every single second, but having someone else do it means I don't need to worry about it as much, because then I just see the finished project, which hopefully I will love. And I'm thinking of it with like black jeans, or like I've got a black leather skirt in like autumn with like Doc Martens and tights and like a black camisole and this purple lilac cardigan. I think it's gonna look really cool. So yeah, I put the picture, I drew a sketch of it. The pattern has got a sketch so you can like colour your own ones in, and so I promised it to the testers and I forgot all about it. So I drew it up last night, sent it to the testers, and then immediately drew my own version to send to my wonderful sample knitter. So that is my first finished object and also my first work in progress together. And I will follow this pattern for my next two finished objects, because I also have a related work in progress. I mentioned, oh god, these have literally been like lying on my floor because I keep wearing them. But it does mean that they're a little bit scruffy. I think I was quite far with this last time. As I said, I released a t-shirt pattern called the Tolsta t-shirt, which came out this year in May, and it is a super versatile DK weight and fingering weight gauge t-shirt that you can like customise and do lots of different things with. So it becomes like a really easy pattern to make a few of, and I feel like I'm getting tired of people being like, this is my third, this is my fourth. So I love the idea of making a tank top. Now, this is definitely coming out next summer. Like, there's no way it's happening now. Summer is just short, and it doesn't help that it is currently just always raining in Scotland, so I have no desire to work in a tank top or any summer knits. It's just like torrential rain, and all you want to do when you see that is like get cozy with a book and some knitting and a sweater. Like, it has no desire to knit summer knits when the weather's like that. But I was working on this sample last time and I don't think I'd finished it. Sorry for the wrinkles, apologies. I will take a picture of probably the other one, the black one, after this, and try to remember to put it in the video. And so this is my tank top. Now, I've shown, I think I showed last time, the concept here is that you knit bottom up, and then the top half is, there are many options. So this is one of them. This is this like high neck classic like vest or like tank top. I showed one last time that has a ribbing across here and like ribbing around the arms and is a bit lower and square. Picture. And then there's a camisole version coming too, which is the one that's on my needles. So this is the first version of this tank top. I was really proud of myself because I have never knit a vest. So this is my first time knitting like this kind of garment, and I didn't really know, like I had to base it on my like all my knowledge rather than like, oh, the last time I knit this, you know, the last time I knit a rag, like I know how to knit a raglan sweater because I've made so many of them. I didn't really know what I was doing, but it worked. And actually it didn't fully work because for this one, it's a little bit short on the upper back, which meant that the back was riding up a little bit and the armholes were a little bit too tight, which was fine, I can still wear it. But I just cast on the second one and I made this one in black. These are both in Drops Belle. And let me get them the right way around this time. Yeah, so this is the second version, and it is, I just added a little bit more space to the back so that you can see this way the back sits higher than the front does. And I have worn this so much. This with my wide leg black jeans and like some gold jewellery and some trainers, like I've got New Balance sneakers. I just look, I feel like I'm the coolest person. I'm really feeling myself right now, can you tell? But like it just feels cool. It feels like something that, you know, like something that like people who only shop at Zara or like COS, you know, like I feel like I should have like a slick back bun and like laminated eyebrows. I don't know if I am talking nonsense, but I mean I am talking nonsense, but I don't know if it's like people can follow this. Anyway, that's the second one. You can see how much it has been on my floor after wearing it because it is incredibly wrinkly. But yeah, so I have these two. I really want a white one. I think like I really just love every single, I want to try them with I-cord edging. I want to try them with a folded neckline. Like I want to do it double. It's a 17 stitch gauge, the same as the Tolsta t-shirt. So I want to knit it with like two strands held together in a lighter weight yarn, and then for the neckline, single, like just one yarn and then fold it over. So they're all coming, but that's fine because next summer is when it's coming out, so I'll have plenty of time. But I will show my whip, and it is in this yarn, which is not the colour I thought it would be. This is pure cotton from Purl Soho. I was looking for a tomato red yarn, and I will say this is purely orange. This is tangerine colour. I don't dislike it, but it is not what I was exactly looking for, but that's okay. And I'm working away. That's the second ball. I'm still got like this much left of the first ball, and I'm just plodding away on this. I will say, because of the weather, I've had no desire to work on this, and everything else is cozy and has a deadline, or like is coming up in the not too distant future, so I'm putting more time into that. But I've been working on the body. It's on a tiny needle because, as I said, I have no needles, but it does look pretty cool. That is where the yarn is joined. You can see better here. So the plan is to do a camisole with this one, so like a triangular, but I think I'll keep some thick straps just because that's what I like to wear. And maybe there'll be some testers who want to do it with an I-cord, but I will not be that person. Yeah, so it looks really cool. I'm pulling this out now. It's a shame because I'm not really seeing this one. Like, I don't see it because it's tucked away in a project bag and it's raining, so I've not been looking at it. But it is cool. And I'm enjoying knitting on this. It's nice yarn, it's quite nice cotton. I was a bit worried, having not looked at the fabric properly, that it was a bit gapey and like holy, but actually looking at it now, it looks fine. What can I say? And I'm not far away, like maybe another, so it's quite good. That's only the first. I'll probably try and go to at least the second this is all used up before I split for the camisole, and I'm gonna have yarn left. Maybe I should make it a little bit longer. I also got some of this in a colour called, I want to call it lemon pepper, and that may be complete nonsense, but it is like a very, very bright lime green colour. What's it called? Anyway, it looks like neon goo, but I kind of love it, and I think I'll make a high neck version at some point next year when I get excited about the weather again, which is currently not happening. Okay, ready for all the new works in progress. Where do I start? Okay, I'm going to start with the one that I'm not allowed to show. But I'm going to give you this tiniest, sneakiest of peeks because I am so excited about this. It is in this bag. Okay, I have two patterns coming out in magazines. I have one coming out in Pom Pom at the end of this year, in the winter edition of Pom Pom, and I have one coming out in Lina in March 2024. But the March 2024 pattern is due in August 2023. There is a huge, huge, huge timeline shift on magazines. I get it, but also I don't get it. Anyway, maybe at some point in the future I'll talk about what I think about, I don't know. I don't really know if I have a, once they're both out, maybe I'll see if anyone's got questions about magazines and production and stuff, because I don't really know what I think about it. But I'm enjoying, I didn't love my first experience because I didn't love the yarn I was working with. I'm happy the garment is there, and the second sample they're having knit, I'm very excited to see. And I think I will re-knit that garment for myself in the future in yarn that I am truly in love with. And like re-own that, like once it comes back to me and I own it again, I'll knit it in something I'm excited for. Interestingly, it was also the same yarn as the one that I'm knitting right now, and I adore this one. So this one, I'm going to just tiny show. I'm using these. This is Biches, le Gros Mohair, the chunky one. It's like worsted weight mohair, and I'm obsessed with it. It's so nice. And my other magazine submission was also in, it wasn't in this, it was in Le Gros lamb's wool, and I wasn't such a fan of that one. So it's interesting. I love this base though. Okay, I cannot show this, but I need to give you a sneak peek. I don't know how I'm going to do this without... Okay, I'm going to show you the tiniest little bit. Okay. I'm so excited. Oh, I'm so excited. Fluffy colour work, that is all I'm going to say. So this has been in the progress for ages. I think I submitted this April? March, April time? It might even be March. I think it was March because I'm sure it was March, end of March, because I remember submitting it and thinking, oh my goodness, this is 12 months away. I'm submitting for 12 months from now. And then they actually got back to me and said I was unsuccessful, and then they messaged me 2 days later and said, we've done some shuffling, we have some space for you now. So thank you. And then I had a panic a few days ago when I realised I'd done my swatches and had not cast on. I say a few days ago, like a week ago, I was suddenly like, oh, that's due in 6 weeks and I've not cast it on yet. The good news is it's on some nice chunky needle. It's on like a 4.5mm needle and it's colourwork, so it's nice and loose and it's flying. I'm almost done with the yoke and I am so excited. So it comes out in March, which is, you know, everyone will have forgotten what it looks like by then. But it's so aesthetically pleasing that I just want to be posting pictures of it on social media, and I can't post social media pictures. There will be a test call, and it is technically a secret test knit, which means I can't tell you what it is before you sign up, but some people have said that they trust me enough to sign up for it anyway, which I think is stupid of them. But I can tell you it is fluffy, graphic, I think we'll use the word graphic, funky graphic all over colourwork. And it's a raglan sweater and it's in the round, and I've even cheated so that they're short row shaping without you having to manage colour work during short row shaping, because I am nothing if not a lazy knitter. So I'm so excited for that one. I am going to make myself a sample once it comes out, and my sample is going to be a cardigan and it's going to be steeped, and then 5 months after the pattern is released I get rights to it back, so they buy the rights to it for a certain amount of time and then you get it back. So it will be mine next September. And I think I will, you have to like rework the pattern and put it into your own formatting and things, and I think at that point I will include the cardigan version and release it also on pattern. Anyway, I broke the rules and showed you it, but that's okay. I'm just so excited to talk to someone. I took it to Knit Out on Monday just so I could be like, look what I made. Okay, I'm going to show you my next one, which is slightly less exciting. I've had this bag from Boutique Knit for a while. That's the first one I got, and then I got this one. And then today my third one arrived in the post. But I love them. They're such a good size and they've got some good like weight to them. I will say I prefer both the first two over my most recent one, but maybe I will change my mind. We will see. Okay, I'm going to show you this. This is not a new pattern, but it is a new sample. Any guesses what I'm working on? It's a Lanark. So the Lanark sweater is my zippy sweater. I'll put a picture of it here. It is a drop shoulder, top down, 3/4 zip sweater and half fisherman's rib, and it is by far the coolest thing I've ever designed. It is just like mind blowing. The construction is so like, I would just love it. I feel like it's my most proud moment in terms of making construction work, and I love knitting them. This will be my third one. However, it's also the pattern that I get the most requests for additional pattern support with, and that to me is two things. One, not a very good experience for the knitter because they're getting stressed and confused and they have to email me to get help, and two, not good for me because then I get stressed, I have emails to answer, and like it feels overwhelming. So I took the pattern offline in May, and since then I've had my tech editor go over it again with like a UI kind of, yeah, UX experience, being like, can you read through this? She has also knitted one independently of me asking her, like between it went live and I asked her to review it, she was knitting one, and so she's gone through and made some suggestions and changed some of the format and changed some of the wording, and then I am making a video series on the tough parts. So like anytime it's a slightly confusing row or anywhere that I think this could be complicated, like there is a row, like the bit where you fold the collar, or like when you get this situation is an interesting situation for people who have not done it before, and so I'm making a video series to go with it. So I had to cast on a sample for that one, and this is my sample. It is in this camera is picking this colour up perfectly, Better than my eyes. It is this glorious, glorious royal blue. That's the wrong side, there we go. It is perfection. This is some Briggs and Little. So actually there's a note attached. This is a yarn I got in a yarn swap with Mega from Skeins of Dreams, and she gave me such a perfect amount for this, but it was an imperfect amount for other things. So it is 5 skeins of main colour and 1 skein of contrast colour. So let's see. Oh, okay. This beautiful woolly wool is from a mill in Canada. I found out about it from Selma with the Little Big Knits podcast. I have some in stash too, which I'll cast on soon for a test knit. Did you cast that on for a test knit, Mega, or did you use something else? I thought you'd appreciate this one just a lot, as it's just very beautiful yarn and it is very affordable. We love an affordable yarn. So this is the main colour I'm using. I don't know if they've got, oh yeah, navy blue. And then my contrast is, you can tell this skein's been around for a while because it's looking a bit damaged, is natural white. And I will put my inspiration picture on the screen. It's this sweater from Cos with these stripes on the body, and that's what I'm going to make with this. Half fisherman's rib is a bit like, or half brioche, it's the same stitch, it's a bit of a yarn guzzler. So having, what do I write, this is 250 metres. Yeah, 250 metres. So having like 1,250 metres of main colour plus an additional 250 of contrast colour is perfect. It makes my life very easy. So we'll see how this goes in terms of the contrast. I'm hoping we'll have plenty of this, but I should start to know that once I get the body joined in the round and I'm able to see how many stripes I can get out of this. Worst case, I get someone to send me another skein of natural white. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It is relatively rustic, I will say that for sure. People, as soon as I said I was using it, people messaged me and said, oh my goodness, I love this yarn, it's amazing, it's so soft, it's so, like, it softens up, it wears really well. I do not doubt it for a minute. It's not hard to work with, it's just like relatively rustic, like I can feel it on my hands. And so yeah, I have done, as you can see, the collar, and I'm most of the way through the back panel. And I actually would like to finish the back panel today because tomorrow I'll film the next section, which is going to be picking up for the front. Do I have more stitches on here than here? Maybe. Am I meant to? I don't know. Anyway, that's a problem we need to deal with tomorrow. So that is my next work in progress, and this is just such a, like, I just got into the second cake, and like, it's just such a glorious, like, majestic cake of yarn. It's so big. So yeah, I'm actually really enjoying it. I feel like it's nice to get a break from having the pattern. Like, I went away for a while from it, and now that I'm back, I'm just absolutely loving it. And I think that it's in such small chunks until you join for the body, and then once I join for the body, I'm gonna be doing stripes. So hopefully it will fly. Okay, I will show you the next two in terms of like order of excitement, because the last one is the most exciting in my humble opinion. Okay, so this is also, I'm so lucky, I'm talking about such interesting yarn today. This is yarn from Explorer Knits and Fibres. This is the non-superwash base, which has got a name, but I've forgotten right now what it's called. Can't remember. It's a non-superwash base. Non-superwash DK. That's really gonna annoy me. Anyway, this is the colourway Linen. And I have got 2 sweater quantities of this yarn for a sweater that I am doing a collaboration with Ali of Explorer Knits and Fibres. And this is inspired by a song from a musical artist called Noah Kahan, who I really love and who I got tickets to see in November. So I will be seeing him like 12 days after this pattern comes out, which I'm so excited about. So you can bet you I will be wearing my sweater to the concert. I also have ordered a bunch of merch from him, which I have delivered to Mega of Skeins of Dreams to pick up when I go to Rhinebeck, so that I can take all of my pattern pictures with a Noah Kahan shirt underneath. I'm still debating whether or not I will be knitting Noah Kahan a version of the sweater and taking it to the concert. My boyfriend says no, but I think I should do it. So it's on tiny, well it's not on tiny needles, it's on actually really convenient needles for the size, but not very convenient to show you. But this is what we have so far. It's knit bottom up. And I've got, like I've pretty much just started past the ribbing. I'm going to show you the fun bit so far. So when I posted this song on my Instagram, and I got a message from Ali. I posted a screenshot being like, can't stop listening to the song. And then Ali messaged me and said, OMG, the whole album, I'm obsessed. And then a few days later, she messaged me and said, hey, if you ever want to do a collaboration on this song, like I am so down for it. And I was like, ugh. And then it just went off my brain, like it just multiplied and I couldn't stop thinking about it. So the idea being like, he is from New England and very like outdoorsy and quite classic, and I want to bring a lot of those in, like those elements into the design. So it's a sort of sweater that you like grab off the back of the chair on your way out to go camping for the weekend, or like you've been at the lake all day and it's getting cold in the night, so you like pull on this cozy sweater, and it's unisex. So I'm also going to speak to my grader about, well, my tech editor grader, I've not decided yet if I will grade it or if I will ask my tech editor to do it, because I would like it to be a more unisex fit, which would mean using a different set of standard sizes than what I'm currently using. So yeah, a more unisex fit, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited. It is based on a Gansey construction, which is obviously like a classic fisherman sweater. Pretty simple, but like just small details of the Gansey that I love that I'm going to put into the sweater. And so the only detail you can see so far, oh, there's a little drop stitch there. I got a little stitch marker. I do not have a little stitch marker. I will fix it. I will show you this little, for somebody who spends their life entirely surrounded by stitch markers, you would assume, actually there's definitely one on this, there we go. I have a pack of like 500 of these from Amazon, and it's kind of like Kirby grips or like bobby pins. You buy new ones and then they just disappear. Where do they go? Into the ether. And that's how I feel about my lightning bulb markers. So the one detail I can show you is that it's chunky 2x2 rib, and then the rib is continued up the side. And this yarn is an absolute dream. It's for this especially. It is, you can see it's like quite a textured design, and it's got these like quite clean lines. And I think this yarn is going to be absolutely perfect for like the clean, keeping everything very clean. That makes sense, like really showing off the texture. So I am really excited for this. I do not need to cast this on yet. It's not coming out until November, but I just really wanted to. It really started heavily raining the other day and I was like, oh, I just want to cast on that sweater. And it was a real nice, we went to see Asteroid City, and this was like, it's about 7 or 8 centimetres of ribbing, and I could take it to the cinema. And so now it's mostly, I think it could be cinema knitting, but it is very like relaxed meetings knitting, because for the rest of the body all I need to worry about is making sure to keep the faux seam detail up the side. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And the second version is in the colour Daybreak, which is a glorious like red brown. So yeah, it's gonna be good. Okay, I made myself coffee right before I sat down and then have not drank any of it. It's pretty good. Okay, let's talk about my last thing. Okay, before I talk about my last thing, I got a new bag. Petite Knit, like once a season, comes out with these bags, and I will say this one is my least favourite of the three, pattern wise, but I just love these bags so much. And I realised, yeah, I also bought the little pouch. These are just really, if I'm going away for like, if I was going away or like going to my parents to dog sit for a little while, or like going away for a weekend, all my notions in the pouch, and then just the pouch, and then because they're so nice and squishy, like they do pack down pretty small. It is ultimately perfection. And they're a really good size, like they fit a whole sweater, so I do love them. But this is my third and final work in progress, and this is the one that has been getting the most of my attention, and I've just been flying through it. And this is the October pattern, which is coming out, and I think I mentioned it last time in a slightly different form. So I'll put a picture up, and this was the pattern. I was using Cold Super Soft Hub Double, and I started it in February because I took it on our trip to Aosta. That's where we went. We went to Italy to go skiing, and I took it with me, and I had this idea, and I was like, I'll take it to Italy and I'll work it all out. And I worked at the cast on, and I got going, and there were a few things. Firstly, I now know that I was definitely doing the increases wrong, or I think I was not keeping track of my increases. So the shoulders got kind of bulbous, like they kind of went round the way, and I was like, oh, I've done something funny there. And I also went to start writing the pattern, and I had no idea what I've done. I was like, I just don't know how I got here. So I decided to cast on again, and I had placed an order for some yarn for my Leith cardigan from Sonder Yarn Company, who are based in Canada. They do not ship to the UK. I had emailed directly and asked if I could order from them that way, and then like they sent me an invoice for the whole thing plus shipping. And I will say this yarn is absolutely glorious. This yarn base is also used by other dyers, so if you're like, I really want to try it, there's no way I can get hold of it in the UK or Europe, my LYS Ginger Twist uses this base for their Masham. It's 75% BFL, 25% Masham. It's glorious, and I am obsessed with Sonder's colours, which is the thing that they do themselves, but there are other places to get it, so it's worth checking with your LYS or like your local dyer. There's also, I want to say, Woolen Twine in Germany, who makes amazing colours and uses the same base. So if you have Sonder FOMO, and I know that you can get it from some places like Espace Tricot will ship worldwide and they stock it, you can get your hands on it, but there are alternatives. So let me show you my two colours first. I've forgotten what the colours are. I think this is called Sweet Pleasures or Simple Pleasures, and it is this like coppery pink, and I can't remember what this is called, but it is this like brick red. And so I had originally got them with the idea of them becoming a Leith cardigan, and then I swatched with them and I wasn't quite guessing the gauge I wanted to get or like the fabric I wanted, and I was like, oh okay, well we'll stick with the Cascade 220, which is what I use for this. And then I brought this other project back out, and I realised that this was an incredible yarn combination. So I cast on, started over. And this is where we're at. I adore it, absolutely adore it. You can tell how much we're flying because I've already split for sleeves, and I only cast this on a week ago, and it's like a relatively, it's a relatively labour intensive stitch. Like it's a 4-stitch repeat, and it's not all plain knitting, so you know. So this is what the stitch pattern looks like. And there's a raglan in pattern, which I just think is stunning. That's the line down here. I think it's my favourite detail. Like you can't really, like you can tell it's there, but you kind of can't tell it's there, and it kind of blends in, but it's also, oh, this is such a soft yarn. I'm really impressed. I think because I was working with a host, which I pre-washed and I still didn't like. And then I've done this big chunky collar, folded collar, and now we're just flying. I've got like a few centimetres past the body split. My goal is to write this up, like the yoke up this weekend. I could write the yoke and I can write the whole body. And then I need to work out what I'm doing with the sleeves. I've not worked that far in advance yet. But yeah, this is where it's at. Oh, it's gonna look so cool. I also think this will look great with my black leather skirt. But yeah, it's such a different set of colours for me. I wouldn't normally pick these colours, and I just feel like it's rewarding me for picking them, which is really nice. So I was going to call this Aster because they kind of look like little stars, and or like little thistles, and like the Latin root of the word for both is Aster. However, a designer, and when I was looking at idiots, I can't remember who it is. It's the same person that, is it Natasha Hornby? Is it the person who designed the Letho? Can't remember. They've just brought out a shawl called the Aster, and like there's just no point in me using the same name. It's just something that's just come out. I think sometimes like I say this, wearing my Leith cardigan when there's already a Leith hat by the designer, but I don't know, it just didn't sit with me. And then a few weeks ago we did it was the start of June actually. It was for Sam's birthday, which was on the 9th of June, so it was like 6 weeks ago now. We went and did a camping and hiking trip in the north of Scotland, and we climbed up Ben Alder. And Ben Alder was amazing. It was a really scrambly rock face, and you go up this bit called the Long Leachus, which is this like jaggedy edge with all these like raw, open, like almost like exposed rock, and there's a path through it, and it's not mega dangerous, and it's graded, it's a low grade scramble, but it was, when you're wearing a 60 litre backpack on, it was a bit spooky. And then this week Sam got his pictures back. He took a camera with him and he got this picture back, which is from the top of that Long Leachus looking back across the glen, and the amazing thing is the path you can see carving through it. But the thing I also love is that if you look at the bottom, you can see that rock, that scrambly rock that we came up, and it reminds me so much of this texture. So it's going to be called Alder. There are other Alder patterns out there. I'm just going to accept it because I just love the name, and I think I now struggle to make anything else fit because I love this so much. So yeah, and it feels nice. Some people suggested I name it after a Monroe or the Monroes, and I was like, yeah, because I have started doing my Monroes recently, but I like the idea of it just being the one. Also, a lot of Monroes, which are any mountain over 900 metres, I think, in Scotland, a lot of them have very hard to pronounce names. So I'll stick with the easy ones like Alder. So yeah, so that's my Alder sweater. Oh, it looks so good. I'm so excited to wear this. And I'm so excited to wear this that I've already started planning out my second version. So on that note, my final bit of acquisitions are the yarn that I ordered from Sonder. So the first one that I ordered is the one that's there, which is the sweet plaid, the two colours here, this pink and this red, and this one. And again, that was going to be a Leith, and then I put together the other palette, which was also going to be a Leith, and this is the palette I put together, and I still think it's amazing. However, I'm not going to make a Leith out of them, and I have enough of this for this to be the contrast colour in a second Alder sweater, and so I'm going to pick another colour to go with this. I'm leaning towards this, I think it's called Wildwood. Yeah, but this one is just stunning. So this is Cloud 9, which is their, I presume this is their natural base. I think this is the ecru one, and I think the other one's also on ecru. The other colour that I'm thinking of doing is also the ecru. And then these are all on like their grey base. So this one is called Toast and Honey. Oh my gosh. This one is Mani Pedi, which I think one of their New Year colours that came out last year. This is Afterglow. And this is Resolve. And I just think this palette is amazing. So I have to come up with something to go with this palette because I just think it looks so fun. I still love to keep them together, to be honest, because they just look so good. They would still make an amazing Leith cardigan. So yeah, so that was my other acquisition. It was, Sonder have sent me yarn in the past to design with, and I've still yet not put that design together. I paid for the yarn they sent me this time. They gave me like an industry discount because I am someone who works in the industry, but I did pay for it. Just felt like I should be very transparent. I don't think there's anything today that I didn't pay for. Oh yeah, my Explorer Knits and Fibres. This yarn was sent to me by Ali from Explorer Knits to design a sweater in. So yeah, so that is all my acquisitions. Actually, for having a massive pile of stuff to get through, I've done okay on timing. It's only 44 minutes. That probably means that I spoke far too quickly. But I'm not starting over because I'm not doing it. So yeah, I think a little life update where things are at, or like, I guess knitting life update first. Knitting update is I'm super all set with the upcoming patterns. There is a pattern for September, October and November are actually in the December pattern. It's also a mini gills. I showed that in the past. It is an advent calendar cardigan, which I'm hoping to release as a charity pattern. I'll probably do it at the end of November instead of December, so people have got time to knit it if they want to. And I think I know what's coming next. Like I think I know the next design, which is literally January, so, or February, probably February. So yeah, my head is like full at the moment. But my needles are also very full. I've got all my patterns currently on my needles, which is super exciting. And I feel like organised, I feel like on top of it all, which is really nice. I've got, what else do I have coming up? Perth Yarn Festival is at the start of September, which I will be attending, and I'll be taking a lot of my samples with me. So if you're going to Perth, it's not called Perth, it's called the Scottish Festival of Yarn, I'm sorry, or Scottish Yarn Festival. It was Perth until they rebranded it. This will be the first year it is the Scottish Yarn Festival, I think. But it is still in Perth in Scotland, so I'll be there with a whole host of my samples. I'm also borrowing some samples from people who have knit versions of my patterns in yarn from vendors who will be there. So I'm going to go around like collecting samples, mostly from Amy Palco, because she has knit I think 2 of my designs in Scottish yarn. And then of course in October I'm heading to Rhinebeck, so things are feeling pretty full and in like an exciting way. I'm really looking forward to it, and yeah, the knitting is in a good place. Like I'm feeling not pressured and not, I think taking that little break was really helpful, and I just come back like completely rejuvenated and so secure with all my designs that are coming and so excited by all of them. And you know, like I say, I've got the first one of the patterns for 2024, the Tolsta Tank, already in my head, and I'm pretty sure I know what the second one's going to be for like early winter, not early winter, late winter, early next year. So really like my head is fit to burst. That's okay. And then in life, as I said, I started a new job about 4 weeks ago, and that is going really, really well. It is a step up in terms of responsibilities, and it feels really good. I'm moved back into the sustainability sector after some time away, and that feels good. It feels really good to be working back for a business that's making an impact in a positive way and not just another business. And then what do we have coming up? I guess we're hoping to get another few camping trips put in the next, before the end of the summer. We had one planned last week, but Sam got a concussion, so we delayed it until the end of July. So we're going to Manchester next weekend. We're going to Abbeymoor for some camping the weekend after that. And then August will be here, and August is the Fringe Festival in Edinburgh, so we are turning into Hotel Leith. We've got a lot of friends coming to stay with us for the month, which I'm so looking forward to. It'll be lovely, but it does just mean that we'll be seeing lots of people and doing lots of things and socialising a lot, and then my birthday at the end of August. I'm excited. I'll be doing something fun for my birthday, I'm sure, and then it's patterns again. Then September patterns are coming around, so it's just all go. But I'm really enjoying it, and I still like going to the gym. I go to a strength and conditioning gym, so I've been lifting weights and I've been really enjoying it. I feel really strong. I keep like flexing my bicep and getting people to squeeze my arm and be like, look how much muscle I have. And then yesterday I went to a Pilates class for the first time since I started weightlifting, and it was so much fun. So I'm going back to Pilates again on Saturday. So yeah, life's just ticking along here in a good way. Things are ramping back up. Work is busy, knitting is busy. I'm reading a lot. I finally finished the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J Maas. I am taking a little break before I start Crescent City, which I'm looking forward to reading. I feel like everyone said it's worth it, like just stick with it, it's worth it. But I have basically read nothing but fantasy and romance. I've read something ridiculous like 29 books this year. I've not done that for a few years. A couple of years ago I did read that many, but it's been a while. But it's all fantasy and romance. So I feel like I should read something that will mentally challenge me, and then I can go back to reading fantasy romance again. So yeah, that is about it for me. I hope you've enjoyed watching. I'm so curious to hear what your thoughts are on any of the things I showed today. Do you like things? Is there things you like, things you don't like? What are you knitting on? and hopefully next time I'll be back with a bit more info about I'll be running some sort of giveaway for hitting 20,000 subscribers. And I will share more about that then. Happy knitting. I hope you are enjoying the world and the weather wherever you are, and I will see you again